Hey there, Internet. So, over the course of a month, I watch more movies than I do videos for on this channel, and one of the things I like the most is when I introduce a movie to someone and they really dig it. So, this is what I watched in April 2023 with some really quick thoughts. I think every movie has an audience, so I do try to recommend every title for someone. Starting with a few rewatches and Cabin in the Woods. This one still holds up. The interplay between Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford is a joy, and if you haven't seen this movie, make it the very next one you watch. 3.5 out of 5 stars from me. The Crazies, a very enjoyable horror about a town that gets a bad case of the crazies. A definite watch for all you horror hounds out there, and for any fans of Tim, only fantastic. 3 stars and gets the Griswold recommendation. Yeah, Tusk. What can I say? I like Tusk. You will never see another man made into a walrus movie as long as you live. Michael Parks and Justin Long are great in it. I give it 3 stars, but it does not get the Griswold recommendation. Everyone I've ever watched this movie with look at me like I was the weirdest after I subjected them to Tusk. Admittedly, found footage horror is a big guilty pleasure of mine, and Hell House LLC is a worthy watch for others who enjoy them as well, with this tale about a group making a haunted house when things get spooky. Once again, I give it 3 stars, but not the recommend, unless you are a fellow fan of found footage features. Hey, I finally got it out. It took me a long time to say that.
Huzzah! The day is mine!
Now on to the new stuff, the ones that I haven't seen. We have Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. This really doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything, but it is loads of fun. All the actors are playing to their strengths, and per usual, Hugh Grant just lights up the screen each time he appears. 3 stars with the Griswold recommendation. A review I read described Kill Bok-soon as Quentin Tarantino at his peak. Well, it wasn't that good, but this South Korean story revolving around assassins is still a fun watch. I give it 3 stars, but not a general recommendation unless you are good with foreign flicks and pretty intense violence. If you're down with both of those, then definitely check this one out on Netflix. One of DC's animated features, Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham, was a slog to get through. I'll be honest, I fell asleep at least once. The DC animated universe has some really enjoyable stuff, but this one didn't land with me. 2 stars, and I really only recommend if you're a big Batman fan or you really dig Lovecraftian stories. I love Adam Sandler. I'm going to watch anything he does. I didn't like Murder Mystery 2 at all. I don't recall laughing once, really. I hope he goes back to playing a silly character soon. Hubie Halloween was big fun. 2 stars out of 5. If you're a big Adam Sandler fan, give it a go. Otherwise, maybe revisit a classic to get your Sandman fix. I love Tetris, both the game and the movie. Taron Egerton stars as the Western man fighting to secure the rights to Tetris in 1980s Russia. Plus, it's got Toby Jones. Toby Jones is great. 3.5 stars out of 5 and a hearty Griswold recommendation. It'll probably be in my top 10 of the year.
It's poetry, art, and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game.
Going all the way back to 1967. I'd never seen Bonnie and Clyde before. It didn't resonate with me as much as I believe it did for a lot of people, but the tale of 2 lovers on a crime spree is still really good. It had a very random Gene Wilder appearance, which if nothing else is worth the price of admission. 3 out of 5 stars, and it also gets the Griswold recommendation. Next is the Willem Dafoe vehicle, Inside, where he plays a thief who gets trapped alone inside a swanky penthouse. I mean, it's great to see Dafoe
Acting!
but the story itself is a little up and down. Mostly up, though, to be fair. 2.5 out of 5, and if you're like me and like it when we get full-on Willem Dafoe, then check it out. Otherwise, maybe keep scrolling. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. You know, it was a movie. It was fine. Nothing offensive about it, except for maybe when the wizard's head was on Wonder Woman's body. That was a mental nightmare of an image. 2.5 out of 5 stars, and this is a good watch for people who really enjoy comic book movies and have seen everything else. Russell Crowe stars as the Pope's Exorcist in The Pope's Exorcist. It's fun watching Russell Crowe in this role. While the movie is fairly standard stuff, I really enjoyed the ending. I'm hopeful for a sequel, actually. 2.5 stars and a Griswold recommendation to all you horror hounds out there if you're a fan of the exorcism-style movies. Speaking of
Acting!
Nick Cage stars as Count Dracula in the horror comedy Renfield. I saw this trailer and was immediately in, and this is one of those movies that delivers exactly what it was promising in the trailer. When Cage and Holt aren't on screen, the movie does lose a little bit of its shine, but it's because of their work that I gave this one 3 stars, and it's a definite recommend for any of you horror hounds out there, especially if you're a fan of Mr. Cage. Back to 1973 this time with Best Picture winner The Sting, and I can see why, because it is a very good movie. Robert Redford and Paul Newman stars con men out for revenge. I give this one 4 out of 5 stars, and it gets a big Griswold recommendation. If you haven't seen it yet, just, go watch it. Trust me, you'll like it. If you like Ocean's 11, you'll like The Sting. And if you don't like Ocean's 11, you'll still probably like The Sting. Keira Knight leads the way in Boston Strangler as a reporter chasing the vile villain. I don't know why I phrased it that way, because it's an investigative drama. I really didn't know much about the story, and one of the things I like best out of these types of movies is that afterwards I get to research what was true or not. 3 stars, and the Griswold recommendation for a movie to watch when you don't know what to watch. Evil Dead Rise is a perfect example of modern popular horror at its best. This time around, a family is battling it out in an apartment setting with demonic forces. It's currently playing in theaters as I make this video, and it's a great choice for a night out at the movies. 3.5 stars and a hearty Griswold recommendation for all. Even bring out the kiddos. It won't traumatically scar them for life.
Can't sleep. Clown will eat me. Can't sleep. Clown will eat me.
Admittedly, I'm not a big fan of art films, but I thought I would give Innisman a shot. I stand by my original opinion. I won't argue with someone who comes along and calls this a 5-star masterpiece, because some people are really into the art side of film that pushes boundaries. Not me. I fell asleep twice. 2 stars. If you like experimental art films, then you'll probably appreciate this one. Joaquin Phoenix stars as the titular character in Beau is Afraid, a story about a man on his journey home. I realize that's a very vague way to describe this movie because it's all over the place. I've never seen another movie like this one. 3.5 stars, could possibly get moved up to 4 in the future. It doesn't get the Griswold recommend because my recommends are things you can show generally any adult, and if I took anyone I personally knew with me to see this one, I would have gotten the Tusk treatment. But for fans of Joaquin and for people who prepare themselves to watch something different, Beau is Afraid has enough to be worthy of your time. And finally, we have You're Killing Me, the story of a high school girl who attends a party only ending up having to fight for her life. Everything is really well done in this horror thriller, but it is about 20 to 30 minutes too long. Editing this one down a bit would have greatly improved the overall movie. Still, 2.5 stars, and for any of you horror hounds out there, there are much worse options. Maybe you'll really dig it. And any Anne Heche fan should be sure to check out You're Killing Me. It's one of her last roles, and it's a good one that she plays really well. Okay, that's it. Do you think I'm horribly wrong about one of these movies? Or did you see something that you really enjoyed? What was your movie of the month of April? Whatever it was, I'm sure it was great. Okay, that's all I got. Bye.